Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making a floral arrangement, and the arrangement is going to be sitting inside of this cute little wooden breakfast tray. I know you really can't see too much of the tray right now because it's upside down, but you'll see it later. And right now I am taking brown acrylic paint, gray acrylic paint, and water, and I'm going to be making a stain for this tray. And this is a trick that I love to do. Stain is nice and everything, but it stinks, and then if you do it inside, your house smells, and it's definitely not a good idea to do it inside. And I really just wanted to use this method. I love the way it looks, I love that it doesn't smell, and it kind of gives a really worn look when it dries. It's so fun, and you can do any color under the sun that you want to do. So I'm testing this out on the bottom of the tray first, because in case it looked like total garbage, or the consistency wasn't right, or the color wasn't right, or anything, I could fix it, switch it up before I ruined the top part of the tray. So I was happy with the color, so now I grabbed a foam sponge and I'm just applying that all over the bottom. And it goes on so smooth, so easy, and it's pretty fun to apply too. Now what's cool is when it dries, it takes on a different look. As you can see, it really looks like it used to be stained and it's just worn. So now I'm going to be doing the same exact process all over the rest of the tray. And so on this part of the tray right here, the wood was definitely a different texture. It was more rough. It wasn't as smooth, so it looks like the stain is sucking up more. It looks like it's more saturated, but in reality, it's really not as saturated as it looks. So when it dries, it still gives the same effect that the underside did. And when I got towards the bottom there, the concoction was starting to thicken up, so I just added some more water to thin it out. And now this whole tray is dry. It actually doesn't take very long to dry at all, and if you're impatient like me, you can hit it with a blow dryer and it'll dry even faster. So now I'm taking white acrylic paint, gray, and brown. And I'm going to be taking a really coarse, stiff bristle brush, and I'm just dabbing it in some of the paint, wiping it off, and I'm just going to be stroking along all sides of this tray. And I really want to get some paint strokes on there. Like, kind of the look that I was going for is like you were perusing around an old barn and you happen to find this tray that was buried in a corner and it's 50 years old. You know, that's kind of the look I was going for. So I'm just playing around with the different colors. I'm not trying to get any sort of consistent color. I want it to be different colors, different variations. I'm not really putting too much thought into it. I'm just kind of slapping it on there. I would say the most important part of this is just to make sure that you don't use too much paint. So once you get the paint on there, just make sure that you've wiped a good amount of it off. And now I'm taking just the regular brown acrylic paint. It's not diluted, it's not mixed with anything. And I'm just taking a foam brush and I'm putting that right along all the edges. I really want the edges to look dark, maybe like this thing sat in some water, or I don't know why the edges would only be water stained, but you get the idea. Like, the idea is it's supposed to look old. And I'm just doing whatever I can to distress it as much as possible. and I'm really concentrating it on the edges. I am blending it out a little bit, you know, towards the center area and just, you know, below the edges a little bit just to buff it out, but the majority of it is the really concentrated part is going to be all along the edges. And so now I'm going to work on the arrangement. And so this is a floral stem that I got at Michael's for 60% off. So yes, I was really excited about that. And I love this one because I love like the pukey olive green color on the leaves. Like, I love pukey colors. I live for pukey colors. And I really like this dusty rose color. So I was really feeling these. And I even like the little dead brown spots on them too. And then this one I also got at Michael's for 60% off, and I liked that the color was similar. It was kind of pukey, and it also had these cute little white things poking out of it, so I decided to go with this one. And I'm just going to be trimming off some random branches, and I'm going to be adding those to an arrangement. So this is a glass jar that I found at Hobby Lobby, and I liked this silver rim on the top, and it has this plastic piece right there, and I just beat it out, and that was really satisfying. So if that was glass, obviously I wouldn't have done that, or maybe I would have done that, but don't do that if it's glass. But this was plastic, so I beat it out, and because I really want to leave it on, I think it looks cool. And then I got these glass beads or shards or chunks, whatever you want to call it, from Michael's, and they have this like mirrored iridescent, not iridescent, but metallic kind of shimmery look to them. So I'm going to use them just in the bottom of the jar because I think it looks cool. And now I'm just going to be playing around with how I want to arrange this. I'm happy with that, and now I'm going to do that 2 more times because I'm going to use 3 of these, and they're going to sit side by side inside of the tray, just like that. So I'm really happy with how this is looking so far, but I feel like that particular area, it needs something. It needs a logo, it needs something so that it looks like a genuine old tray. So I think I'm going to put a logo there using my last name, something like Maylee Farms, because it's my dream to live on land and have a farm. So I'm going to be using my Cricut. So I designed a logo, and I'm just cutting that out right now on just regular just standard Cricut vinyl. I'm not using stencil vinyl or anything, even though this is technically going to be a stencil. But I just use whatever I have laying around. And so I stuck transfer paper over top of the vinyl, and now I'm just peeling it off, and I'm going to stick it onto the wood in the area that I want it to be in. Now I'm just making sure to press it down really good, and then I'm going to be peeling off the transfer paper. So now I mixed white and gray acrylic paint together, and this is a little, it is dry brushing what I'm doing, but the brush is a little bit more wet than I normally would when I dry brush. And I really want to do that because if you put the paint on too thick, it's going to seep under the vinyl, especially this kind of vinyl. It's not that sticky. And so I'm just putting it on nice and easy, and I also want it to look like the logo kind of wore off over time. So the dry brushing is the perfect method to kind of get that worn look. So now I'm just going over it and doing a second coat. Alright guys, that is it. I had so much fun doing this. I love how it turned out. I can't wait to find a place to put it in my house, and hopefully it inspired you guys to make one of your own. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!